The man who moves a mountain begins by carrying away small stones. And my friends, the way that we move mountains here is 10 to 15 minutes each and every day learning how to chart the market, how to practice trade, do all the things that we need to do in order to master the market. Let's look at where we are with stocks today. They are down. Bonds, gold, and Bitcoin are up. Bitcoin swinging back up quite nicely. We'll get to that at the end. Let's first jump into the S&P 500. You can see that the market started moving up in earnest back last Thursday, the 21st of November, moved up until today, pulling back a little bit. And we can see where lots of indecision in the morning, pulling back in the afternoon, now down just 0.30%. Latest two-day candle has finished. We look at the prior two-day candle. The high 686, 601.33 was the latest high. Lots of volume there as things are moving up. Still got another day to go. Markets, of course, in the United States, as we talked about earlier this week, are closed on Thursday, and we have a short trading day on Friday. Markets will be closing at 1 p.m. So, again, reaching a higher high this week, things moving in the right direction. We'll keep an eye on this little pullback, see what happens on Friday. Look at the NASDAQ 100. It's pulling back even more. And again, these aren't big pullbacks, but 0.79%. We do look, things are still, though, sitting there on the two-day chart is sitting right there on the weekly trend line. Half-day chart has moved down toward it. We'll see, again, if things continue to move up higher. We have not hit the highs that we saw back on the week beginning the 4th of November and the 11th of November. We had a doji week last week, almost a doji there, a very small green spinning top, but decent volume. We'll see how the volume does this week, and we'll see on Friday just what happens in that shortened trading session. Now, look at 20-year U.S. government bonds, continued to move up. Of course, we saw things blow up on Monday. Tuesday settled out a little bit. Wednesday moving back up. We may at some point have the ability to jump into a trade on bonds. We're just going to have to wait, watch, and see. We can, of course, tell here, and we've talked about this. We had where bonds moved down strongly with lots of volume. We could look at this past week as a potential of a dead week and might allow us to jump back in depending on how volume goes here and start writing bonds up. We will keep an eye on things on Friday. I would much prefer, of course, for a decent turnaround and feeling good if we had a green spinning top here. So again, doesn't match up to my parameters typically to trade things, but we will compare and contrast how things moved in the recent past, what bonds have shown us when they go into an uptrend, and what that might allow us to consider doing. Friday will give us some answers potentially. Let's look at what's up with gold, up 0.22%. Not very much. Gold down strong on Monday, settling out a little bit on Tuesday. Popped up in the morning on Wednesday, then pulling back in the afternoon, again to where it was only up just a little bit. Of course, leaving us with decent volume on that two-day chart, but a red spinning top. Is gold reverting to, as we like to say, the trend is your friend? And is it reverting to the largest chart, which things many times do because it has the most weight? So are we going to see gold pulling over and moving further down? Chances, I would say, are pretty decent that may very well be what occurs. We'll continue to monitor and see which way it goes. Now, Bitcoin springing back up after 2 days of decent down movement. Bitcoin rebounded, again, staying above that weekly trend line on the half day. 2 days sitting right there on it with that bottom wick. Extreme indecision with a doji here. And of course, we didn't have a lot of volume to help you see what that really means. A doji with volume tells you a whole lot more. Well, volume tells you both lack of it and having volume. And if you haven't taken our volume training, we have several of them. fact, I'm going to give you a little Thanksgiving treat, and I'm going to put the best volume training at the end of today's video that I think you will get a lot out of. And again, dedicated this latest book that I have written to Jesse Livermore, and he really emphasized volume. And we teach a lot of the principles that he believed in and taught. So you'll get that in the book. If you're not a Patreon member, you need to become one, because that's who's getting the book for free. Now, as we see, again, pulling back some, we'll see what Friday does for us, if indeed Bitcoin is going to be short-lived in this up move, or if it's going to rotate over. Like we said, it's staying above the weekly trend line on both the 2-day and the half-day, but lots of indecision there on the 2-day. And of course, we look at the weekly. We've not reached the high of last week, although we are moving up as far as the candles themselves go, or the candle bottoms as far as the trend line goes. So we'll keep an eye on things. Friday may be telling in all 5 of these ETFs that we track. Thank you so much for being with us. Always love to hear from you. Everyone in the States, wish you a happy Thanksgiving. Everyone else around the world, hope that you have a great Thursday. Our markets will be closed, and we'll be back with you, of course, on Friday. God bless, my friends. All the best from the whole team at Charting Wealth World Headquarters.